Today is Thursday, January 26, 2023. I'm Pastor Michael, and this is Wilderness Wanderings. Our text is from Psalm 142. I call out to the Lord. I pray to him for mercy. I pour out my problem to him. I tell him about my trouble. When I grow weak, you are watching over my life. That's Psalm 142, verses 1, 2, and the beginning of verse 3. At some point, most children must wrestle with a sense of abandonment. This loss is felt when parents leave the room. As they return time after time, the child will grow confident that their leaving is not permanent. For some children, this is a more difficult journey than others. And some children, mostly due to neglect and the withholding of love, struggle to trust anyone. As they grow up, they find it difficult to develop healthy attachments. Even into old age, they remain afraid of being abandoned. Our psalm for today touches on this matter of abandonment, being left alone, without human community. We can imagine the psalm on the lips of Jeremiah, cast into a well, then drawn out only to be imprisoned until the fall of Jerusalem. No effort is needed to hear this prayer welling up from the throat of Job as he sat on his dung heap, bereft of every earthly comfort. We could include Jacob fleeing from his brother Esau, Joseph thrown into an Egyptian prison, and Elijah running from Jezebel. When we think of those unjustly accused who may have prayed this psalm, other people come to mind, such as Daniel in the lion's den and his 3 friends in the fiery furnace. We might include Hannah, surrounded by children not her own, and David fleeing from Saul and later from Absalom. Of course, many Christians today living in places of persecution understand the sentiments of this psalm. If this lament is a fitting supplication for those in prison, then even John the Baptist is to be counted among those who may have prayed it, and the apostles Peter, Paul, and John. But most of all, and adding dignity to the rest, there is Christ our Lord, the man of sorrows and acquainted with grief, abandoned by his closest friends, betrayed by one of them and denied in public by another, finding his sole refuge in the Father. Here is a lament of a person who has been faithful to God, but who feels oppressed and abandoned by the community of faith. Words and phrases such as complaint, my spirit grows faint, no one is concerned for me, no one cares for me, desperate need, set me free from prison, haunt its verses. Yet throughout the song there is one ray of light. God has not abandoned this singer. This is the one thing that holds despair at bay. When I grow weak, you are watching over my life. Verse 3. You are my place of safety. You are everything I need in this life. Verse 5. Set me free so I can praise your name. Verse 7. This is one of the hallmarks of the Christian faith, that God does not abandon us. Jesus' incarnation is the proof. It's a matter of faith to believe that God remains with us even if we cannot see or feel him. This song speaks into our impersonal world. We work with, go to school with, live next door to, worship with people whom we hardly know. What burdens do they carry? Do they feel that the very breath of life is being sucked away by traps and snares? Do they feel that no one regards them, no one inquires after their well-being? Maybe some of you express these questions for yourself. This psalmist expresses these fears of abandonment and the ultimate fear of death in this cry to God. He will be a refuge when all others fail. But more than a place to hide, God will also be our portion. That is, he will be the satisfaction of our lives. He will be everything we need in life. The trouble is, we often need to lose the little refuges we cherish to know that God is still our ever-present refuge. Let me finish with this question. Has not the church been called to be the place of refuge in the land of the living? How can we know the presence of God if we are not that presence to each other? Whatever church you are part of, get out the directory, look through it, pray through it. Who is God calling you to be present with, so they will know that God has not abandoned them. The psalm singer pleads for deliverance by God for one reason: to give thanks in the name of God, that once more the righteous will gather round in community. In a third and final expression of trust, the psalmist is confident that after God delivers, the righteous will gather round, and the psalm singer will no longer feel abandoned and alone. Why not reach out to make that happen today? As you journey on, go with the blessing of God. May the peace of the Lord Christ go with you wherever he may send you. May he guide you through the wilderness, protect you through the storm. May he bring you home rejoicing at the wonders he has shown you. May he bring you home rejoicing once again into our doors.